What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
You want healthy children. Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
They made, I'll give you one concrete example. I was, not but it just happened to be that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones. So I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
I'm calling for a constitutional amendment called No One is Above the Law Amendment. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law. The American principle that no one is above the law was reaffirmed. The justice system should be respected, and we should never allow anyone to tear it down. Those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law.
Second one, will the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
Okay. We go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday, and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying it would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
You have said repeatedly yourself since the election, the president has said for months, no pardon was coming. I wanted to ask you, could those statements now be seen as lies from the American people? Is there really a credibility issue here given now this announcement?
First of all, one of the things that the president always believes is to be truthful to the American people. That is something that he always truly believes. And if you see the end of his, I assume that you've read his statement, and you look at the end of that statement, and he actually says that in the first line in the last paragraph, and respects the thinking and how the American people will actually see this in his decision making. And I would encourage everyone to read in full the president's statement. I think he lays out his thought process. He lays out how he came to this decision. He came to this decision this weekend. So let's be very clear about that. He says it himself. It's in his voice. He said he came to this decision this weekend. And he said he wrestled with this. And because he believes in the justice system, but he also believes that the war politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice.
What a lying POS she actually is. I can't even believe that last part that you heard was on the airplane as Joe was leaving Dodge, getting out of town, heading over to Africa of all places. Getting out. Not going to hold any press conferences for the next couple days, answering no questions, running like the coward that he is. Got his tail tucked in between his legs, and of course the dutiful media holding court and trying to protect him. Now, she said something in that little last piece that I want to show you guys. In case you have not seen it yet, let's go ahead and look at exactly at what she said. She is talking about the actual pardon. And so what I'd like to do is read that with you. Bear with me. I have a frog in my throat. I have a cold. It came over the last couple days. The temperature change got me. So I apologize. My eyes might be a little runny. But I'm going to fight through it today because this is important. So let's look at this pardon, if we will. Executive grant of clemency by Joseph R. Biden, Jr., President of the United States of America, to whom these presents shall come, greeting. So nice of you. Be it known that this day, yada, 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 under my powers under Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Constitution, I have granted unto Robert Hunter Biden a full and unconditional pardon. Now, the part in the yellow here, which I've highlighted, is what's most important here. For those offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed, stuff that you don't even know about. I mean, there's stuff out there you may not even know about, but, you know, those two are taken in part during a period from January 2014. We'll talk about that in a second. Through December 1st, 2024, including but not limited to all offenses charged or prosecuted, including any that have resulted in convictions by Special Counsel David C. Weiss, docket number yada yada yada, United States District Court yada yada yada, and witness whereof I have hereto signed my name and caused the pardon to be recorded with the Department of Justice. I'm going to leave this up for a second because I want you to focus in on the dates. A lot of people have talked about it. A lot of armchair lawyers out there running around. What this pardon does, it says the stuff that you know about and the stuff that you don't know about on a federal level. That's very important, on a federal level, not district, not state, federal, not international. And I'm making sure you understand those crimes, should they be revealed, should they be found out, are not covered by this pardon. Only United States federal crimes and those that you don't even know about are covered under this pardon. In addition to that, what I want to have you focus on, this goes back to January 1st of 2014. Joe Biden gave Hunter Biden a blanket pardon for everything he's done, everything you know about, everything you may not know about, for the last 10 years. And we're supposed to believe at this point that there's an equal justice system out there. She told us, hey, go look at yourself. You know, he pretty much sums it up right there. Yeah, he sums it up by saying, I'm not going to let my son go to jail whatsoever. I don't normally engage in any sort of a monologue. I don't ever do that, but today is much different. I think I have to say this before I go any further. In my mind, on July 13th, 2024, things change forever. And now I think I speak for tens of millions of Americans when I say, we're done with this. Absolutely frickin' done with the Democrat Party and all the crap that they've been doing. If you're not someone who wants this country to be great again, let me tell you right now, we're done with you. Absolutely to the hilt, done with you. We have put up with way too much and we're done. For far too long, you've mistaken our tolerance for weakness. And somehow it's emboldened you to do shit like this. You've overreached once again. If you haven't heard, let me be the first to tell you. Your time has come to an end. I have posted on X a couple of times. I don't feel at this point, that this Democrat Party has any future in its current state. It's done. It's over. It's a relic. It's something to be looked at on a picture in a museum. It's over. You have no leadership and you're corrupt as hell. And everybody can see it if they're not, working for you, like the media. Things are going to happen fast now, and you will find yourself wondering how we got here. And for those people on that left, AOC and Pocahontas and everybody else, this is going to be your crowning grace. We've had it. You've lied to our faces once too often. And thankfully, January 20th, barring a world war, is right around the corner. So allow me to tell you how we've arrived at this point. You've called us racist, while we're staying together as white, black, and brown Americans. Somehow, I'm a black guy and I was called a white supremacist. That's kind of hard to do. Then came all your DEI and talk of reparations and constant attacks for even the smallest perceived slight. I'm black and I don't have any relatives that I know of that baled any frickin' hay. Definitely didn't bale any cotton. So I'm not entitled to any reparations. You needed us divided. That was your goal, obviously. And you were close to doing what you intended on doing. We didn't want to, but damn if you didn't force us to accept gay marriage. But then you added a bunch of other letters and put it in a tuba, the LGBTQISSIPPI tuba, and blew it at our faces on a daily basis. Do you know how many, just so you know, look up one day how many different days of the year they have the honorary day of the XYZ having to do with the, different lifestyle, as they say. Go look that up one day. Look and see how many months, how many days they have associated with that. Then after that, you shoved the Me Too stuff down our throats until it happened to you too. Until you people had to start answering for some of the stuff that you did. Then all of a sudden, Me Too became like Me Didn't. Then you created cancel culture. And you did everything to censor us and force acceptance of your insanity. You made being a man the problem. I've never been ashamed of being a man. Toxic masculinity was a phrase of the day, and that only worked on guys who were beta males. And many Americans watch you teach and raise, or try to raise, a generation of soft-ass soy boys. Shame on you. And then you accused us of being anti-immigrant, which is very hard because my father was an immigrant. Many of us, indeed we could say all of us, are immigrants, but our families did it legally. They learned English. They got jobs. They assimilated into the culture in order to be a part of this great nation. They didn't storm the gates at the southern or northern border. You should be ashamed of yourself by trying to let the word morph into immigrant and keeping off the part of the word or phrase that actually describes these people. But that isn't even everything that you wanted. Your idea is to overwhelm America and Americans, insert tens and thousands and millions of newcomers into every small town you can shove them into. All without even letting the residents of those towns and local leaders know about it. And then if it got worse, you gave them our money. You gave them our money and told us we had to give more and more and more. And then you tried to basically get it to a point where they could vote. The so-called Great Replacement theory isn't much of a theory anymore, is it? We've kind of watched it happen. At this point, the newcomers are obviously your priority, and you even want them as a priority to existing Americans. You even want their vote. Despite their horrific crimes, you and the complicit media never speak criticism of any newcomers. We have bodies showing up in apartment complexes being raided and taken over, and most of the media won't even cover it. Shame on you. Shame on you. The Americans trusted you to protect them and tell the story of what's happening to them. The media wouldn't tell the story and the government wouldn't protect them. But we just waited and maybe things are going to change. We understand these people can do no wrong in your eyes. Then you said you wanted to put us Americans in re-education camps. I don't know how you thought that was going to work. I mean, you would have had to tie me up, handcuff me, and beat me like the slaves that maybe then I could get the reparations. Because that's the only slavery I would know is if you try to put me and my family into a re-education camp. You can kiss my ass about that. You changed the names of buildings, mountains, sports teams, and military bases that my father went to erase our history. You took the Bible and the Pledge of Allegiance out of schools. You knelt during the anthem and you burned our flag, which is your right. Because we will fight for your right of the First Amendment. Hey, it's your freedom of expression, but we can't have that. We couldn't go to Washington and show you our displeasure about the results of an election. No, you get put in jail. How many people have been put in jail for burning a flag? Interesting. And make that matters worse, in addition to all the money you gave to the newcomers, you shipped billions, tens of billions, to some country I can't find on a map, and then proudly displayed their flag in the halls of our government. You made patriot a dirty word. You took away our voice, and actually, you continue to try to silence us even till today. Ask these people. Then you preached to us at sporting events and music and movies and television shows and told us even after we forked over our hard-earned money that we were bad people. How can you insult somebody who's paying you? Then you tried to even take away humor and laughter. I remember Robert Plant in Stairway to Heaven Live, I think. Anybody remember laughter? Does anybody remember laughter? Just looking at something on a screen and just laughing your ass off because that's funny. And I don't have to worry about whether it's offending anybody. Do none of you remember Don Rickles? Lenny Bruce? Richard Pryor? It's amazing. You guys have feigned being constantly offended. You made virtue signaling an Olympic sport. And you constantly, to this day, lie and lie, telling us not to believe anything that we're seeing with our own eyes. You've made many people feel isolated, even crazy. But this guy Trump kept fighting for us and kept telling us he's going to make America great again. And he's going to fight for us because what they really want is you behind me. And if you take him down, then the rest of us are screwed. Yes, he was brash, he was raw, he was arrogant, but his legend continued to grow. And it grew well before he came down that escalator. And then he wanted to let us know that he wanted to make America great again. He spoke to the helplessness that many of us felt watching you Democrats do crazy crap. You said Russia was his handler. You attacked his character, his family, his business, his friends, and yet he still won. You didn't let us celebrate, though. You said he cheated. So you took to the streets, you protested, you burnt, you threatened, and you attacked. It's the thing that you seemingly do over and over and over when you don't get your way like a petulant child. You ever see that happen, with regular Americans? And I don't mean white. I mean white, black, regular Americans. I'm pretty sure I live in Boca. There wasn't anybody running up and down the street in Boca, burning buildings. Somehow, our fascist response was to remain silent and accept it, because that was the law. We had to follow the law. And for years, we heard every single day that the orange man was bad. The economy was strong, the world was safe, and the wall was, not needed. All of your lies, over and over and over. It was too expensive. Unbelievable. Then came I don't know if I can say the word, that thing that little elf guy created over in that other country. And once that happened and people started getting sick, you locked us in our homes. You hurt our businesses. Many people lost their businesses. You stole moments from our children. They won't ever get back. Many kids are stunted educationally. They can't learn anymore. They had to wear a face diaper and plastic, all kinds of things separating them from other kids. They're like lab monkeys. But we smiled, we complained, but we let you do it. You see, keeping us separate became law. You killed our elderly and our vulnerable. Then you forced many of us to inject some sort of, cure. And if people refused, you shamed them, or worse, fired them. But then, then, you made a grave mistake. You went after our kids. You see, there's kids missing. There's kids in schools that got to see the RuPaul show. And you kept saying, no, it's fine. And you kept lying and lying, but you went after our kids. You got problems and they're coming back at you. And then more recently, you covered up laptops, mobilized your army of celebrities, and smeared Trump's record and reputation, and said it was all fake, and 51 intelligence officers, who now we know are full of crap, all signed on to this thing. And then the media came out and they said, oh yeah, these people are liars. 51 intelligence agencies tell us that. But then we find out now that you're probably guilty of cheating. Can we just call it that? This so-called blue wave that you said was coming, we knew it wasn't coming. You basically took something away from us. You took 4 years of Americans' lives from us. You see, someone else should have been in that Oval Office, and you stuck a dementia patient in there. And we had to deal with it. We didn't like it. We still don't like it, but we had to deal with it. the best of us finally stood and took to the streets, or actually not to the streets, to the Capitol. You provoked people, and you let people walk into that building. You killed a woman in the building, and then you prosecuted the rest and threw them in the Chateau d'If and said you're going to go to jail forever. And then you continued, 1,500 more people later, locked up. And you censored us from even talking about the grand insurrection. Nobody survives the grand insurrection. You made sure we couldn't rise up. You weaponized law, and you laughed as you did it. Because you thought you won. We sat and watched you destroy our country. You defunded police. You allowed crime to run rampant. You let these newcomers go wherever they wanted to. You flew them in, dropped them off like, airlifts. You spent money to the point where Americans couldn't afford to live. You abandoned bases and embassies and even our allies. You made us weak, you thought. Then others began to wake up. So you became desperate, even more vile. You convicted or tried to convict Trump of crimes he didn't commit on charges you couldn't even define. Imagine that. This man got almost put in jail on charges you had to make up. And then got him found guilty, and if it weren't for the fact of people started digging and looking around, you would probably put him in jail today. You tried to take his fortune. You took his friends from him. Your leaders called him a threat to democracy and a fascist. You called him Hitler. You called us garbage. And you demonized each and every one of us. And we waited. And we waited. And we waited. Some of us lost friends and family. But we waited. And then on July 13th, shots rang out. You nearly killed him. But the man rose. He lifted his fist in the air and said, "Fight, fight, fight." We watched it. We watched it on live television. There's nothing that you can change about that. The world changed on July 13th, 2024, and your candidacy, Joe, and Kamala's candidacy to follow were done on that day. Done. You didn't realize it, but it was done. And you had all the pollsters making up shit and people in the media just telling us, oh, it's a close race. Oh, she's ahead. And you knew all along it was over. You lied not just to the people on the left, but you lied to the people on the right. You tried to pretend like it was a close race. You know, this man you call selfish and hateful nearly gave everything to save the country he loves. My throat. Okay, hold on. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. To that day, some of us were afraid to wear our red hats and our hoodies and everything else. Our eyes teared with anger and respect for Trump. He withstood all you could muster, threw everything at him, tried to take his life. And in doing so, the mistake you made is he empowered us. 100 million of us. See, that's your problem. And now you insult all of us. Again. We've seen the crimes of Hunter Biden, and we know the crimes of Joe Biden. And then you issue this pardon, this piece of crap thing that you couldn't wipe your butt with, so that he and you could just walk away free. Blah, 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 blah. We stole the money. We did everything. You can't do anything. And you expect us just to let it go. Understand that Biden's presidency, if you want to call it that, started with him denying the existence of Hunter's laptop. And now his presidency is ending with him pardoning Hunter for all the things people saw on that laptop. I think they call that irony. Your media postures and says Biden is a great father for pardoning this idiot's son. Seriously? Seriously? Hunter is no college boy doing lines in a frat house. Let's stop with the, he's a great dad. Oh, he's such a good dad. Any one of us would do anything to make sure our kids didn't go to jail. But this wasn't a kid. He's a grown-ass man. He's a 54-year-old man. He's a lawyer. Of all people, he should know what you can and can't do within the realm of the law. The unfortunate thing for Hunter is that he had Joe Biden as a father. See, the father that everyone's clamoring to and clapping he did such a great job for, this is the guy who used Hunter Biden for fun and profit. Get your ass over there, go collect some checks, give 10% to the big guy, do whatever you need to do, keep coming with my money. You used your son, and now you're trying to pretend like, oh, I'm just a good dad. You're scum. You see, none of us would put our kids in that position where you would have to pardon him. You knew he wasn't paying taxes. You knew he was snorting lines off the butt of horse, but you didn't care as long as you got your money. And now, after all of this, you expect us all to simply look the other way as if nothing has happened. You're kidding, right? You see, the real men and real women of this country are going to take this country back. And we're going to make sure none of you Democrats get in power for quite some time. We won't be silenced. We can't be stopped. And you will watch as every ounce of power that the Democrat Party took away from us is returned to the people. Trump is going to make sure that happens. And we're all going to support him. We may not be able to do anything with Hunter. He's small potatoes. I don't care about Hunter. I don't care if you pardon the rest of your flippin' family, your brother, your wife, your kids. I don't care. It doesn't matter at this point. Now we all know. You got away with it. You screwed us. Yep. Bad on us. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to restore law and order, and the so-called newcomers will be shown the door. They're going to get out. No, not even listening to the media anymore. F them. We're going to retake our schools. We're going to retake our cities and retake our states. The minority will no longer dictate to a once silent majority. We're over it. Completely over it. I hope you are. I hope I'm not talking to myself. Microphone on? Yeah, okay. You see, we the people of the United States of America love this man Trump and this country. We will take it back because we are MAGA. Now, that's the first time I've ever done a monologue on one of these shows. Maybe it ran a little bit long, but I am just so sick and flippin' tired of all the crap that I keep seeing. It's got me to the point where I'm like, I gotta say what's on my mind. I've had enough. I hope you've had everything.
You've talked about wanting to unify the country if you're elected. If you are president again, in the name of unity, would you consider pardoning Hunter Biden?
Well, I wouldn't do anything that would be overt in terms of Hunter. It's a sad situation. And I'll bet you the father probably pardons him. Let's see what happens. But he's a bad boy.
So he anticipated it would happen. But Andy, what about the fact that Biden just insisted, and through his spokesperson insisted, that no one was above the law? They said over and over again. And frankly, unfortunately for them, I don't think anybody actually believed them anyway.
Yeah, well, this goes to what Kayleigh was talking about. I think I certainly as a father could understand that you would, if you had the power to spare your son imprisonment. If it were my sons, I would have spared them prosecution in the first place, which he could have done. But I think that goes to the mendacious political calculations that went into this. As Kayleigh said, anybody could have understood if Biden had just looked America in the eye and said, look, this is my son. I know it's abusive, but I'm going to pardon him. Mm-hmm. They would have understood that a lot better than the series of lies. But
because it was about the election, it wasn't about Hunter. If you cared about your son, your daughter, and your daughter or son are facing some serious time, they're facing charges, maybe let's stop this. Oh, hey, Joe, hold on. You're running for re-election, and right now you can't say that, because if you say that, you could lose the election. So you think the great father, the one the media is all talking about, the great dad, What would the great dad have said? Great dad would have said, F it. I don't care about the election. I need to save my son. But instead he went, oh, that's right. We'll wait until after the election. We can't do it now. You still think he's a great dad?
A series of lies were driven by the election calendar. They wouldn't do the pardon prior to the election because they realized that the electorate would have went nuts over it. So they lied about it again and again. I think you're right that nobody really believed them. Certainly nobody who looked at the choices that Hunter and his lawyers made during these cases, they had to know they were getting a pardon. I don't think anybody believed it.
Yeah. If you look at the president's statement, he says two things. He says no one is brought to trial for filling out a gun form improperly. I'm paraphrasing the words there. He's also making the case that if you pay back taxes, there's no penalty. The penalty for prison comes off of that. Are those two statements true? So
if I rob a bank but I bring the money back, that's okay now? You know, I mean, it's idiotic. As far as the gun case is concerned, that was not what they call a lie and try case where you fill out the form but you don't get the gun because they find out that there's a problem. He actually got the gun. Those cases get brought all the time. And as for a tax violation, it's just like the bank robbery. It's a little bit of a drastic example, but I think it makes the point. Paying back the money that you owe doesn't mean that you didn't commit the crime. It's not a defense. So it's just, those are silly arguments. Mm-hmm. And in point of fact, he got cut break after break because he was Hunter Biden, because he was the president's son. This idea that he was singled out for that reason, they actually tried to make the case against him go away, which is a break that no American would get.
Something else doesn't make any sense when you think about it, right? So if he was so worried about his son, you know, I got to make sure that my son is taken care of. Why did you have to go back to 2014? You see, there was no gun charge. There was no tax charge back in 2014. When you look at, you know, what had happened, none of that took place at that point. But what did take place is this. Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma in 2014 by pardoning Hunter for any crimes he may have committed from 2014 to 24. Joe Biden is protecting his family's criminal cartel. This ain't about the gun. This ain't about taxes. This is the great dad protecting his own ass. This is about daddy making sure people don't come out and find out what he did. But then again, he's got a scot-free. He's going to get off scot-free already because we already know he's too blah, blah, blah to even stand trial, they say. So I don't know why you needed to make it go back to 2014. You see, the statute of limitations for most things would have ended, you know, within whatever realm you wanted to go, except if there's certain other charges where the statute of limitation doesn't expire. You see, there's a few charges where there are no statute of limitations. And those charges, some of them which, you know, have no statute of limitations are, of course, the big one, murder. Number two, probably even bigger one, treason. See, treason has no statute of limitations. So if people find out that they were, you know, selling secrets, and they dug in and found out, you know, they were basically had the Biden piggy bank open. Hey, what do you need? You want to know this? Oh, yeah, we'll get you this. We'll get you that. That's probably why they needed to go back to 2014. Now, I've heard lots of people say, now that he's got his pardon, that maybe at this point he can be grilled and he'd have to come to court. And when he came to court, he would have to tell the truth because he no longer has the defense of the Fifth Amendment. He's not going to incriminate himself because nothing can happen to him. Well, you see, you watch what happens in the next 45 or 50 days. I would almost put money, if I could go down to the casino here and they said, you want to put money on? I want to put money on this. I think what we're going to see, no doubt, is Joe Biden pardon himself, pardon his brother, pardon Jack Smith, pardon hundreds of people. And at that point, you will know that this criminal enterprise that is the Democrat Party should never, ever again be elected. That's why they're all saying, oh, you're going to go after his political opponents? Oh, you're going to go after the media? Only if you were involved in all this crap. Yeah, I saw this one today. Some Democrats are now calling for Joe Biden to issue, quote, preemptive pardons for himself, his associates, top officials, Jack Smith, the special counsel to prevent prosecution from the attorney general in the Trump administration. They all want parachutes. And they all know too much information that should they get called by somebody like, Kash Patel or Pam Bondi, they got no protection. And so when Joe pardons himself, and then he pardons his brother, and he pardons his wife and his daughter, and everybody gets a pardon. Maybe that's why Oprah was involved in Kamala's campaign. Everybody gets one. Gonna deal them out like cards. This ain't over. This is far from over. You can bet you're going to see mass pardons. Mass pardons. We're going to see pardons issued like we've never seen before. It's starting to creep out right now. Developing without an equally broad, sweeping, and unconditional pardon for his brother, his sister-in-law, who commingled illicit Chinese and other money with Joe. Former FBI officials and prosecutors tell me Joe remains vulnerable to corruption conspiracy charges. I told you about peeling that onion back and just keep peeling those layers to see what's back there. And all of it leads right back to Joe Biden. He is going to have no choice but to pardon everybody. Everybody's going to get one. It's pathetic at this point. Let's continue.
Mike Davis, a blanket pardon. I think the only blanket pardon that we've been able to recover is Jerry Ford's pardon of Richard Nixon, and it was actually tighter than this. This goes back 10 years to a month before he was officially signed up, or he got his first check from Burisma. This goes back to the color revolution in Ukraine. It goes back to everything that happened in Ukraine and everything else. Talk to me about the scale and scope of this pardon, sir.
It's a stunning pardon because, as you said, it goes back more than a decade, and it covers any potential federal crime that Hunter Biden may have committed.
Federal. Remember that. As you go forward, remember it's federal only. Not international, not state, just federal. Just remember that.
Minutes, including foreign bribery and corruption. Hell, if he's a child, which there's evidence that could have happened from these tapes. He'd be pardoned. Taking foreign bribes.
So what I had to bleep out there was the word that begins with a R, ends with an E, and has an A and a P in the middle. Can't say the word. We saw the video. If you haven't seen the video, there's some of that going on with some youngsters. And there's probably a lot more fire where that smoke is. Remember, there's 300,000 of them we can't even find. He's been pardoned for all crimes, whether you know about them or not. Gun charge, tax charge, small potatoes. They mean nothing. If you've seen the stuff on this laptop, you know, oh, hey, whoa, oh, yeah, there's some stuff there. I can't even imagine who else is tied up in that. But we're going to get a good idea when we start seeing these pardons come flying out. That's for sure.
Pardons, foreign corruption pardons, selling out our national security to China pardon. This is a breathtaking pardon, in scope. And the reason that Joe Biden did it, obviously, was to protect Joe Biden and the rest of the family. And I would say this is the first pardon for Hunter Biden. Just wait until Joe Biden pardons the rest of the Biden family and himself, because guess what? As House Oversight Chairman James Comer has clearly documented with bank statements, these scumbag Bidens, it seems like every scumbag Biden except for the granddaughter, who they wouldn't claim, has taken over $23 million from these corrupt foreign entities. It's gone into...
I'm sorry. Did you say 23 million? Dude, that's small potatoes. You might want to add a zero on the end of that. It's 23 million, quote, that they know about. And then when they started digging, they looked the other way really quickly. It's a lot more than $23 million. Joe Biden went to another country, which I started this video about, and told that guy years ago when he was vice president, hey, you're not going to get the $1 billion if you don't fire this guy. Billion. You're not going to get the $1 billion if you don't fire this guy. That's what his words. He's actually said that. You think $1 billion just went that way and nothing came back the other way? 23 million? Yeah, they ain't getting out of bed for 23 million. That's little bit. But the good part about this is whatever he's got stored away, whatever he's got stuck in a Cayman bank somewhere, he's not there. God wins. God wins. All the money you have doesn't matter at this point. Doesn't matter whatsoever. You can't take it with you. You've done so many bad things. I just feel like God doesn't like ugly. I don't care how many gazillions you have locked in a bank. Jill, you're stuck with a husk. Hunter, your reputation is doomed. I guess you got a nice little pretty new wife who's just going to go along with it because she gets all kinds of goodies. But everywhere you go, every restaurant, every place you go on vacation, people are going to look at you and walk the other way when all of this stuff comes out. Your brother, James Biden? Good luck, bro. Your neighbors aren't going to want to have anything to do with you. And your sister-in-law? Oh, you're going to have to pardon all these people.
Their bank accounts. What the hell were the Bidens selling for $23 million?
Yeah, you guys can imagine. You could even... I hope you can imagine. Some of the stuff that I have coming out, I didn't have a chance to get the Border Patrol video edited because I wasn't feeling good. I knew I had to go live today at 3:30, so I was resting up and cutting and stuff. I'll see if I can't get it done tomorrow morning. But you're going to hear a lot of stuff from them. You're going to have to hear a lot about these NGOs and where's money been going. Here's Andy. Andy. I think how do you pronounce Andy's name? Andy Ngo. Democrats and their liberal media allies keep pointing out that the Donald Trump had pardoned his son-in-law's father in 2020 to excuse President Biden's unprecedented move. Now, what he's talking about there is that Donald Trump pardoned Jared Kushner's father, and now they're all throwing it up. Oh, well, he pardoned Jared Kushner's father. It's no different. It's all this nepotism. Yeah. But you notice they always put a period at the end of that sentence. Oh, he pardoned Jared Kushner's father, period. Oh, but there's a lot more. And I'm going to give you that ammunition so you can tell people, don't give me that sorry, lame stuff. I'm going to tell you what really happened here. Okay, here's what really happened. Charles Kushner pleaded guilty to tax evasion and other federal crimes in 2005. He served a 2-year prison sentence and paid the maximum fine the judge could give. His record was cleared through a pardon by Trump 15 years, 2020. 15 years after his conviction and sentencing. This man did the crime, he did the time, and he paid restitution. He did everything the court said. President Biden has pardoned his son before sentencing, wiping away a possible $1.3 million tax evasion fine and years in prison. Most importantly, the pardon is backdated to 2014 to include all crimes that he, quote, may have committed long before the 2016-2019 gun and tax evasion felony crimes. 2014, as I've said, is when Hunter began working for lucrative interest over there when his father was tasked with responsibilities for that country as vice president. So you can take your is it Charles Kushner? What's his name? You can take your Charles Kushner whataboutism and stick it where the sun don't shine. That man did his time. He paid the fine, did everything the court said, accepted his punishment, and all Trump did was clear his record after the man did everything. Bet you didn't know that. Bet you didn't know from the news that Charles Kushner did all that. You see, man did the time. They lie. All they do is lie and lie and lie and lie. I don't know why they're like that. Well, actually, I do know why, because they're all liars themselves. It's so sad. It is really unbelievably sad. And I'm over it. I hope you're over it. I really do. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. So let me just go with something here. I'm doing my Rumble integration. With President Trump's historic victory, I need to ask parents to please listen up. Now that President Trump is heading back to the White House, he said he wants to teach our kids to love our country. Not a bad thing to say. And the best place for them to start is to learn all about President Trump and his vision for America in his second term. That's why Mike Huckabee's team put together the Kids Guide to President Trump. And to celebrate President Trump's victory, they're giving it away for free. This won't even cost you anything. Nothing. With fun illustrations and easy to follow content, this important guide teaches kids all about President Trump's accomplishments during his first term, and it helps kids understand his goals for his second term. Mike Huckabee wants to send your family this free guide so you can teach your kids the truth, which is sorely needed. The school's not going to do it, but please hurry because supplies are limited. To claim your free kids guide to President Trump right now, just visit kidstrumpguide.com. That's kidstrumpguide.com. And right now, got to talk to you about Lear Capital. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, if the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com, to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. And I just wanted to add, all of you who won gold and silver during the election, we've got all the information, we've placed the order, and as soon as I get the shipping information, Ashley will go ahead and email you with a confirmation number so you guys can track your package. They are going out probably end of this week, beginning of next week. So finally, everyone's back to work. No more holidays and vacations until the next holiday. Merry Christmas. And we'll take it from there. Now, I want to go here. Excuse me. I want to make sure you guys understand this. I got a comment here. It says, but he wasn't charged for everything. The pardon is only for the charges. Let me state with quite amount of clarity. That is not true. Anything that he did federally between 2014 and 2024 is off limits. You can't charge him for anything, whether or not the crime is known or not known. You guys need to talk amongst yourselves and let other people understand that what you just wrote there sounds great, but not true. The pardon is only for the charges. No, it's not. It's for anything. I hope you guys all understand that. I'm looking here and want to make sure it's for anything, any charge federally. I don't care if he was jaywalking across Pennsylvania Avenue. It doesn't matter. If it happened between 2014 and 2024, doesn't matter. It's wiped clean. You have to really understand that. Nope. You got. Okay, again, people aren't understanding this. You thought you couldn't get a pardon until sentenced. That's not true. It's for everything, whether you know about it or not. Period. I'm not sure why that's hard for people to seriously grasp. That's what Joe Biden did. He gave him a blanket pardon. That's why people are outraged. I understand what you're thinking. You're like, you can't do that. What do you mean stuff we don't know about? I don't care if he diddled little kids on that island in 2015, but you don't find out until like next week. Too bad. Yeah, it's that egregious. It should piss you off. That's why I did the monologue. I'm done. I'm done with these people. He has been forgiven on earth by his father for anything he's done since 2014, federally. and I'm just looking to make sure everybody understands. Nope. You're not getting it. Doesn't matter if it's treason. Nothing. Zippo. Can this man now be charged for or found guilty of or even brought to court for anything that happened between years 2014 and 2024. Now, if he did some bad shit in 2013 or 2012, yeah, you can go for it. But nothing, no charges. The statute of limitations for treason goes on forever. So if he did some stuff in 2013, yeah, by all means. But you really have to grasp the severity of what this man did. Everything. Drugs, taxes, gun charges, little kids, it doesn't matter. He's got a clean slate. It's all been wiped. It's like 2014 to 2024 never flippin' happened. I understand it's hard to understand and maybe hard to believe, but that's why you should be pissed off at this point. These people can never go in office ever again. Period. They just showed us that if they have the presidency, they are willing to do anything to protect their grift and things that they've done. And if you think you're pissed today, if you think you're pissed on December 2nd, wait till you feel how you feel when the rest of these things come. Wait till you hear Joe Biden pardon himself, which that may get a challenge. I don't know if any president who's ever done that, they may try to take that to the Supreme Court and get a ruling on that. But as of right now, you need to realize, Tipsy Gypsy, this can't stand. It's already done. They're not even going to challenge it. There's nothing to challenge. I know this sucks. I know it pisses everybody off. There is nothing to challenge. It is a power given to the president. President knows it. Everybody knows it. He just wiped the slate clean. Biden's election isn't legal, so these pardons aren't legal either. That's going to be a huge hill to have happen in the next 50 days. Maybe that's what they'll go after. Who knows? Maybe they'll say everything he's done is invalid. But I'm talking about today. As of today, the reason why everyone's pissed off and why the media is kind of giddy is because you got a get out of jail free card. Somebody says you cannot challenge, you can't do shit. It's done. No. The pardon includes Joe Biden. No, it doesn't. Come on, people. you got to clear your mind and hear what I'm saying. This is for Hunter. That's it. One person, all his crimes for the last 10 years. Done. Federal. Don't even enter in an option of maybe this. No. Nothing. It sucks. You got to accept it. This is what they did to us. As of today. Who knows what may come down the road. But as of today, Hunter Biden is a free man and cannot be charged with any crime between 2014 and 2024. Whether you know about it, I know about it, anybody knows about it. I understand. I feel your pain. But you're going to have more pain coming. You're going to have a lot more pain coming. Because I'm telling you, Joe Biden isn't finished. There will be more pardons coming. And you're going to go, him too? Don't be surprised if that little elf on the shelf doesn't get one. Unfortunately for the elf on the shelf who pushed Jabademic, he may get tried for international crimes. So that won't even help him. All Biden can do is basically help him here. Yes, international criminal court if jurisdiction can be claimed. That would be on the little elf. Barry, read the pardon again. Why is it recorded in the city of Washington and not D.C.? All right, so you guys want me to show you the pardon again. Let me put it up here, and so you guys can see it. I'll put it up without my face on it so you can see the entirety of the entire thing. And I'll take the comment off. Okay, so you can see it. Done at the city of Washington this day of December. Not sure why it says that. Was the question, why does it say city of Washington instead of Washington, D.C.? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maybe he made a mistake. Maybe that's something you just picked up on. I couldn't tell you. All federal charges dating from 2014 to 2024. Hunter's pardon. Why is that so hard to comprehend? Joshua, I think the reason why it's hard to comprehend because we're good people. I have to believe many of the people watching this are good people. And they're like, this can't be happening. This can't be happening in our government. I think it's just complete disbelief that our government failed us to this point. That this wasn't what it was intended to be, just a get out of jail free card. But that's what's happened. And it's going to continue. Guys, the president has the power to do what he did, plain and simple. That's it. He may get one too. Imagine that. Imagine he gives up one to Barack and Michelle. Then he's got to go down the Celebrity Avenue. And then he's got to go down the Media Avenue. How sick in your gut are you going to be when you hear some of the names that they're doling pardons out to? I know how you feel. I was watching going, oh, hell no. 2014? Yep, 2014. Yep. It is horrid that this treason is being pardoned. Per Joe and Hunter were partners. Yep. And you know who's coming. I mean, somebody's like, what about the Clintons? And yeah, they know Kash Patel. Just understand here. They know Kash Patel is going to get in, whether Trump does it through recess or he gets confirmed. All these people right now are back channeling Joe. He's in Africa and like, dude, you got to get me one. I bet you if they confiscated Joe's phone, but he's in a skiff or something, it's going to be just text message out, dude, me, you got to do me. There's so many people on the left who are probably in line. I saw something with, what's his name? Keith Olbermann. That was absolutely incredible. Keith Olbermann and what he said, it tells you, Keith, let me show you this, because when you see this, you're going to be like, huh? Seriously? Where is it? There's something he said. Said it today. Him and Rosie O'Donnell and all these people. But what he said was, he said that they should issue. Oh, here it is. I found it. You're not. He kind of admits something here, Keith. I want you to look at this and realize the insanity on the left and what he's actually saying here. Keith Olbermann wants a pardon from Joe Biden. What he's worried about, I don't know, but he should probably shred his hard drives. Keith Olbermann, pardon Hunter? Great. Now pardon everybody else. Every prosecutor, every Biden administration staffer, every media figure, everybody Trump will persecute. 10 million pardons at least. So you admitting your entire party is criminal? Is that what you just said? Did you just admit to the world that everybody on the left is basically a criminal? Got to pardon everybody. Pardon everybody. I don't think Joe can handle that many signatures. For him to walk into the Oval Office and him having a stack of papers like this and just keep signing them. Just keep signing them. Keep signing. That tells you they've done some shit. That also tells you that they're terrified of Kash Patel. We knew they were terrified of Trump. That's why the whole, prosecute your opponent stuff came out. They know it's coming. Good. Run scared. Leave the country. Decimate the Democrat Party. The more names who get pardons, the less number of people who can run in the future. It's going to be glorious. Pisses you off? Yeah, they got away with all kinds of shit. But just watch the names. Watch the names who end up showing up on this list, who are terrified right now of prosecutions come January 20th. See, Trump's a genius. See, I don't even know if he really wants Kash Patel as FBI director, but the mere fact that there's a possibility that he could be recessed appointment in, you're going to have these people lining up with phone calls to Joe. Hey, man. Hey, I can't go down for this. Imagine 10 years, going back all the way to 2014, before Trump's first election. All this shit these people have done for 10, 12 years. Nancy, hey Nancy, can you show us your SEC trades? Oh, I got to get out of jail card by Joe. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, just go ahead and resign. Leave. You're done. Your political careers are over. Every single person who gets one of those little papers that they end up getting pardoned, you're done. And I'm just thinking to myself, this entire Democrat Party, Barack's going to get one. It's coming. Michelle's going to get one. Hillary's going to get one. Bill, I don't think Bill cares. But in your own mind, start thinking how long that list will go down. You can start with Chuck Schumer. You can just start going down the list. And on the right, just saying, Mitch, you gonna need one? Lindsay, I don't even know. Right now, there are people going to be gassing up the Lear jets and getting that piece of paper. Because if you get the piece of paper, don't think you're going to stay around here. People are going to come for you. And it's funny because as I'm watching some of the stations, MSNBC in particular, who more people will see this video than watch their shows, they're starting to realize this wasn't good.
What do you make of all of this? What is likely to be the response on Capitol Hill to this breaking news?
Before he answers, is somebody going around the liberal circles and handing out these glasses? I mean, I don't know, but I'm just seeing all these people, including Mark Cuban, wearing these stupid-looking glasses. So, is it a signal? Is it some sort of code? But my gosh, the Rachel Maddow glasses are crazy.
Good to be with you. See, I told you so. They're all like that. So the next time any of us complain about anything Trump does, this pardon is just deflating. For those of us who have been out there for a few years now yelling about what a unique threat Donald Trump is, for Joe Biden to do something like this, Trump, nobody's above the law, we've been screaming. Well, Joe Biden just made clear his son Hunter is above the law. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his mouth, we've been screaming. Joe Biden repeatedly lied about this. The politicization of the justice system, Donald Trump and his people have been screaming. Well, that's exactly what Biden said here.
Joe, is this a politics of purity? I mean, we had Donald Trump
Politics of purity.
pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio during his term, and there wasn't a lot of hue and cry about that. And this is a father who saw his first wife killed, his daughter killed in a car crash, his two young sons survive. One goes on to have real difficulties with addiction. Another dies because of cancer. This is a...
Oh, this son is 54 years old. This son is an officer of the court. That's the term that attorneys are labeled. You're trying to make this sound like, he's just a little boy in college. He didn't know he should have been growing pot in the frat house. This is a 54-year-old grown-ass man. And you got to say that?
Family that's really troubled. I mean, yes, he said he wasn't going to do this, but did anyone ever believe that that was the case? I mean, I would have put good money on this happening. Like, are many people going to be surprised that a father who is also the president would do this for his son?
I don't know that people will be surprised because you're right. Joe Biden repeatedly said he wouldn't do this. So he repeatedly lied. But this just furthers the cynicism that people have about politics. And that cynicism strengthens Trump. Because Trump can just say, I'm not a unique threat. Everybody does this. If I do something for my kid, my son-in-law, whatever, look, Joe Biden does the same thing. I get it, but this was a selfish move by Biden, which politically only strengthens Trump. It's just deflating.
So let me get this right. In order to keep the Democrat Party relevant, you believe that Biden and Hunter should go down with the ship, just so that your party can stay relevant. That's what he just said. He just said it was selfish. Selfish to whom? The Democrat Party. F the Democrat Party. I'm gonna make sure my son stays out of jail, and you ain't even seeing what else is coming. If you think that was selfish, you ain't seen nothing. Wait until you see that list of names. There is no possible way that that's the only one. And here's something else I want you to think about, because I'm watching some of the chat here. Why'd you do it now? You see, you're not even out of office until January 20th, I think noon, whatever. You could have waited up to January 20th, had breakfast, and signed it. Why'd you have to sign it now? Hunter may have to go back to court on December 12th or whatever. You could have signed it. Why now? Why the first day back from Thanksgiving holiday? Probably because you got a lot more to do. There's a lot more coming. Oh, yeah. I'm telling y'all right now, be ready. There's going to be so much more. Here, look at this. Democrats have fully taken off their mask. They are preemptively admitting that Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, the FBI, and the DOJ engaged in 4 years of political prosecutions against conservatives because they are coming out and urging Joe Biden to pardon the criminal organization they call an administration, like all of them. All. They are urging Biden to blanket pardon everyone. I see some of the comments here. You guys are pissed beyond pissed. At the same time you're pissed, there's a golden silver lining to this whole thing. Then the silver lining is these people will never be relevant again. Let him name them all. Again, I'm going to go back to Bronx Tale when C tried to chase the kid across the street and owed him $20. If this is what it cost, to get rid of the Democrats, so be it. Let this entire party just destruct in front of our eyes and slither off like snakes in the grass. They're going to get theirs. I believe in God. God don't like ugly. You're done. You'll live your lives in seclusion. You can do whatever you did. But you know what? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But one of the questions I would have is, I can't arrest you, but can I impound your bank accounts? I don't know. I don't know. We've never been in this situation. Somebody asked, what about military tribunals? Don't know. We're in a whole different level of corruption at this point. They are openly admitting, just so you can really grasp this, they are openly admitting, oh shit, we're caught. Like Trump said, we got it all. Your move. Do what you got to do. Do something. Pardon as many people as you need to know, because those people are going to get parachutes off of some mountain in Mexico, but they ain't going to be working here. They're done. They won't be able to go on television. They won't be able to spot. First thing, shut up. You took a deal. You took the pardon, which basically you're admitting there's crimes. Because you won't need a pardon. What do I need a pardon for? I didn't do anything. Nobody's coming after me. If people are lining up asking for pardons, they're all telling you we've done some serious crap. I saw this one today too. Now what they're trying, next move Democrats are trying, there's reportedly an effort amongst Democrat senators and a few Republicans to keep FBI Director Christopher Wray in office, claim that his term does not expire until the end of 2027, so President Trump does not have the authority to fire and replace him. Good effing luck with that. He already fired James Comey. Yes, he can fire the FBI Director. Yes, and don't screw around and make him do something stupid for you, like, name Kash Patel special consultant for the FBI and give him all kinds of powers. You're done. You're cornered. You see, the actions that they're taking are giving things away. It's sort of like when you play football. I'm going back to my football analogies. When I watch game film, I'm like, oh, when he lifts his left arm and leads with his right foot, that means he's going to do this. When you play poker, if the guy looks at his cards and shakes, oh, he's got a tell. Right now you're telling everybody, we're guilty as hell. We're so guilty. You caught us with our pants down. Oh shit, pardon me. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Joe Biden is leaving office making the strongest possible case for Donald Trump that anybody could possibly make it, and that's that our government and our justice system is of, by, and for the elites and nobody else. He ran to banish Trumpism from our political system in this country, and he has left it politically and now institutionally the strongest possible political force in this country. It is a complete and utter failure by the head of the Democratic Party and the President of the United States. Never again do I want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's a liar. You can't believe anything he says.
He's so true. And I'm looking at two people to the right of him who are about to be jobless. The guy from CNN who's the host, you can look on his face, and the woman in the pink who's a, quote, Democrat consultant. And you ain't going to have anyone to consult, honey. They're all gone. Like I'm going to say it again. Who in the hell is on the Democrat bench right now? Who is going to step up and be the next candidate? Who are you going to consult for? There ain't nobody there. There ain't nobody there right now. I can't even imagine if it's people, who are waiting for a pardon.
Donald Trump will abuse his power. Donald Trump will only use the system to benefit himself and his family and so on and so forth. Never again. I have one question for Karen, and that is, why did he need an 11-year blanket pardon going back to 2014 when Joe Biden was the vice president? We are sitting on the biggest cover-up of who knows what crimes, and Joe Biden, amazing.
What you laughing at, girl? That's called nervous laughter, because you know.
He knows exactly, roughly, when it started. He knows just about when it all started. He's leaving office in complete and total disgrace. He is a liar, and there is no other way to spin this today. This has nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the character of Joe Biden. You guys can spend all day long trying to spin this, that this is Donald Trump's fault, that this is somehow caused by Donald Trump. Oh, he's appointing the wrong people. Oh, he did it. Oh, this is the worst possible thing a president could possibly do to his party and to the country, to sit for a year and say, I will not do this. I will not do this. The rule of law is sacred. We have to respect the justice system. Juries, we have to respect juries. We have to respect the guardrails. And
well, I'm going to come back to him. But again, I want to tell you, the timing. You could have pardoned Hunter if it was truly what everyone's saying, that you were trying to be the good dad. You could have pardoned him months ago. You could have pardoned him after you screwed up the debate. But you chose not to. You let Kamala run against him. Kamala, whatever her name is. And you waited and you waited and you waited. Don't be surprised now if he resigns and lets Kamala be the president for a month. How insulting, Kamala. That somebody would just, here, you can have it for 30 days. Good luck with that.
Of our democracy, these people are liars. Inflation is transitory. Afghanistan, it's a success. The border is secure. Robert Hur is a liar. The videos are cheap fakes. Biden has a cold. He'll never drop out. Oh, I'll never pardon Hunter. It's all a lie. It is all a grift.
Okay, so he went through a bunch of them there. He just rattled them off. Afghanistan success, inflation is transitory. Everything they've been saying for 4 years, you now know without any equivocation has been a lie. So now, with the 4 things that he just mentioned, now you can step back and look at the other stuff. Was he lying there? Was he lying here? Was he lying there? Has he been lying about that country that they keep sending billions to? You see, that is what this all comes back to. All of that money that got sent over to that country for stuff I can't say here. If you dig, you're going to find out where that money went and why it went where it went. You're going to find out that it was because of something very untoward that they were working on. Dig yourself, and it's all over X today. When you start looking at why that money went there, it wasn't to basically keep a war going. No, there's something else going on over there. That's also the reason why Putin didn't like what was going on over there. And then when that happens and people find out where that money went.
Every American, except the most partisan, brain-rotted people, are going to be outraged by this today. He is going to leave off. You think 39% job approval is bad? Just you wait. Just you wait. He's disgraced.
Scott,
disgraced today. Outrageous.
You don't need to, but Scott, you don't need to hurl names and say people like me are brain-rotted.
Shut up. Shut the F up. You're offended because he said Democrats are brain rotted for doing what they've done. Yet for quite a long time, we were fascist and garbage. I didn't see your full outrage when we were called, fascist and garbage and all the other stuff. Hitlerian, you didn't say it then. No, you didn't say it then. You didn't have a problem. But you're upset because he said, you brain rotted people?
Come on, that's a little beyond the pale, even for you, Scott.
Listen, I stand up for yourself. You don't have to defend this. He's leaving office. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to die on this hill. You can say this is wrong. But
I love that he said that. I'm going to give you opportunity to get out of this. All you have to say right now on national television is Joe Biden was wrong and he lied. That's all you have to do, and you're not part of the nuts. But unfortunately, she fails.
Does everybody know that it is? It's wrong. Are you fine with the lying? Are you fine with him sitting before the election all year and lying to the American people? Are you fine with the lying about it?
I don't think that he was lying. I think he made a decision after the fact and decided this was the right thing for him and for his family. Period, full stop. Donald Trump decided that it was okay to pardon
Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. How many minutes of tape do we have of both of these people telling the American people this will not happen? It's I mean, we could play it all morning. It's a lie, and it's a lie to benefit his own family, and that's all that it is. And everybody who went on TV and said, oh, look how he's the modern George Washington. He's drained every ounce of credibility from every surrogate. If Karine Jean-Pierre had an ounce of self-respect, she'd get off the plane in Africa today, where they're going, so he can avoid the press and resign. He's drained all of her credibility, and everybody else who's defended this, it's draining forever.
They have no intestinal fortitude. They have no shame. She's sitting there smiling, going, yeah, I approve of everything he did. It's no big deal. He did something for his little baby son. That's where you want to go with? Seriously? That's what you want to say. He did what he had to do, period. You're disgusting. You people deserve what is about to happen. You're going to have to find another job, honey. You are no longer going to be able to skate along on the grift. Because for those people who don't get caught up in this, for those people who aren't going to get the pardon, your lives are going to change irrevocably. That's the word. Because now we're gonna look at every single thing you do. Every single thing. Every move you make, every check you get, every donation. Oh yeah, it's already starting with Kamala. You got investors going, hey man, we donated to this thing, and this thing that you had us donate to, you knew you couldn't win. You people are scum. And everything you've been saying about Trump is you. God's revenge will be much greater. Yeah, if these people believed in God. Exactly. He flat out lied, you brainless twit. Stop lying to yourself. They can't. See, that's just it. In order for them to come full circle and say, yeah, he lied, the checks immediately stop. The responses or the requests to come on television immediately stop. They're stuck on this treadmill at this point. All the Democrats right now, you can look around. They don't have much to say. Exactly, Barry. Yeah, they're stuck. They're really stuck at this point. My reaction was exactly the same words you just said, Barry. Shut down. Every move you make, every vow you break, I'll be watching you. Exactly. So I'm interested. I'm sitting back. Get your popcorn ready. Because at this point, I don't know who's going to be left on the playing field. It's like everyone on the field just got concussions. Like, who are you bringing in? Who's playing? because I don't even know who these guys are with these numbers right now. Who you got left? Even Bernie Sanders is like, yeah, I like Doge. Yeah, I'm Doge. I'm like, Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders wants him some Doge? Oh, yeah, let's do that. I'm like, oh, you're so done. Democrats are so effed. If Bernie Sanders is like, hey, Elon, yeah, I want to help you do some of this stuff. Y'all in deep, deep poo-poo. It ain't good to piss off every American that owns a pew-pew. Yeah, and you just did that. Because I'm telling you right now, you're pissed off right now, and you've just seen one pardon issued. By this time next week, there might be 20 of them. I heard today, I can't verify it, that a bunch of people in the FBI are resigning. Where y'all going? You got a cush job. What? Oh, you got a plane ticket to where? Botswana? Good luck with that. Good luck. Maybe that's why crypto's going up. Because you got a whole bunch of people in government need to put some money somewhere. Need to take it out of banks, all kinds of stuff. Daddy's home. He's pissed as hell. He's coming back on the 20th, God willing. Daddy's home, man. Yeah, he can pardon anybody he wants to that's in jail, prison, or has been charged with a crime. You can't pardon somebody if they haven't been charged. Wrong. I don't mean to single you out, Dale. You're not paying attention. I can't. Stop. Here it is, once again, for your own edification and review. I wish it wasn't what it says it is. I wish it didn't work that way. For those offenses against the United States, meaning federally, which he has committed or may have committed. Or may have committed. You getting it? I don't know why some people are having an issue. Or may have. You don't even know what I've done, and I still am free. I know it sucks. I know it's incredulous. I know it goes against every bone in your body to think that someone could have done something that hasn't even been charged with. And you're like, I'm good. Breathe. Suck it in. Realize we've been had. We've been screwed. And more people are going to get these blanket pardons. He can't pardon him for future crimes. That's why it's up till today. Exactly. God is going to tear apart this evil system and put in his own system. Yeah. I don't know about Nancy. He might give her one, and Brock might have to pay for one. I don't know, Barack. We could talk about it all along. But trust me, that's what he did. It's a serious Monopoly get out of jail free card. It sucks. You may not want to believe it, but you got to believe it. Your president, at this point, went ahead and issued his son a 10-year get out of jail free card for anything that we know and everything we don't know. And I understand it. You're a law-abiding American. You are a law-abiding citizen. You're like, there's no effing way. What do you mean, stuff we don't even know? Nothing. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll realize, okay, these people are scum. And just move on from there. It is what it is. Awesome monologue, Barry. Thank you. You're on fire. They got me fired up. Thank you. Hey, because I got pissed off after I saw that. After I saw all this, I'm like, I am so over these people. I'm done. I'm actually done with them. I'm done with the people on television telling me, well, what about Trump? No, man. No, we're done with that. All right, let's get to the top 10. Let me just make sure I got it queued up. Where is it? 21, 20. Where'd it go? Gotta find it here. Okay, here we go.
10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
No one
is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law. Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I could have done that for 10 or 15 minutes. There is so much footage of them saying that over and over and over again. No one's above the law. Except Hunter and the rest of these people.
What do you think the biggest misconception is about the Hunter Biden case?
That he committed this felony tax conduct while he was high on drugs and he was out of his mind and he wasn't. It's not true. He actually filed these false tax returns when he admitted in his book that he was newly sober. So all of this conduct, if you look at the book compared to what's filed on the tax returns, when you compare those two things, they don't match up.
See? It's going to piss you off. It's all a lie. It doesn't match up. He was sober when he did this. So it wasn't because he was some drunk, strung out drug addict. He knew exactly what he was doing. Daddy don't care, though.
Number 8. And Congressman, I have to ask you about the other big news of the morning, President Biden pardoning his son Hunter, something that he said over and over again he would not do, something that the White House said over and over he would not do. What is your response to that?
I have a mixed response. As a father myself and as someone who knows Joe Biden, I can sympathize with his perspective that his son was, subject to vigilante justice. I certainly...
If he was subject to vigilante justice, as you're saying, why did you have to pardon him for crimes that we don't know about yet? You see, I mean, if you think the gun charge and tax charge are just, bad charges, that's kind of cut and dry. You either paid your taxes or you didn't. There's not much vigilante about it. Wesley Snipes, Willie Nelson, a whole bunch of people can tell you about either you paid or you didn't. Oh, they weren't supposed to look. That's what you're saying. They only looked because he was Hunter Biden. And then the gun charges is when he was standing naked with his thing hanging, and he had doing this, and he's got the thing. There's a picture of the gun. So what do you mean vigilante? We're watching a crime happen in front of us. The vigilante part is you guys trying to tell us that it should just be overlooked.
I witnessed that in Republican depositions of Hunter Biden and his attorney. But having said that, what other father in America has the power to pardon his son or daughter if they're convicted of a crime? I really think we have to revisit the pardon power in the Constitution. And at the very least, I think we've got...
You know why he wants to revisit it now, don't you? They want to make sure Trump can't do this. Hey, Joe, we can't do anything about what Joe did, but we got to make sure Trump can't do this, because that would be awful.
Circumscribe it so that you don't get to pardon relatives, even if you believe passionately they're innocent or that their cause is just. We just saw Donald Trump not only pardon in his previous administration his son-in-law's father, but now appoint him to be ambassador to France. This is an abuse of power, and I think it needs to be corrected.
Now that's a guy who's in Congress, and I read to you everything about Jared Kushner's father. He has to know that. Well, I guess he doesn't have to. He could be a stupid idiot as well. I mean, you never know. But he just misled the nation on CNN, which is their forte.
Number 7.
Years, these conservatives have been crowing about a politicized Justice Department, Biden politicizing it, and so on. What happened today? The Justice Department convicted the president's own son, his only living son. I heard the president say he would accept the outcome of the case. I know no other word for that, but presidential.
He even went so far as to say he wouldn't pardon his son.
Yeah, he lied. He lied.
That's how much respect he has for the system.
The president has said that he will not pardon his son.
It was a moment of just moral clarity on the part of Joe Biden. Have been in, starker contrast to the way Donald Trump has handled his own conviction.
I will not pardon my own son if he is convicted.
And the contrast is so clear in terms of decency and principle.
You're going to hear the word contrast quite a bit from these people. Orange man bad, Joe Biden was fantastic. Yeah.
And transactional guidance in terms of how you view the world.
Presidential promise to put the law before family.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that.
The contrast to how Trump has behaved, how Trump has treated the rule of law, this was a good day for the system, good day for sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should.
Number 6.
So the president's pardon of Scooter Libby, Congress.
You're going to love this one. This Adam Schiff, a couple years ago, talking about pardons, how Trump's a bad guy.
This one has inspired you to propose new legislation. What exactly would it do?
What it would do is say that in the event the president pardons anyone in an investigation in which the president is a witness, a subject, or the target, those investigative files will all be turned over to the Congress. The Congress ought to know whether the president is using the pardon power to obstruct justice.
Funny, when Dementia Joe got into office, he kind of just let that bill die. I'm not going to push it any further. We can't have people looking into the Biden family. That was only supposed to be for Trump.
American people have a right to know. I think it is clearly constitutional. It doesn't prohibit him from granting a pardon, even a pardon he shouldn't grant. But it does say that we will be able to at least find out whether the president is using this power to shield himself from liability.
It offers transparency at the very least.
Number 5.
We need to do compare and contrast here. So
compare and contrast. Again, you're hearing this word, contrast. This is what they were using, the contrast between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden is an upstanding citizen. He is a great leader. Trump, orange man bad. But what she says here is unforgivable.
Joe Biden's gotten asked about, talking about law and order. He's gotten asked if he would pardon his son. He has said no.
Right.
He got asked if he would commute the sentence of his son. He has said no. On the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who has said that he will pardon the January 6th insurrectionists. Yeah. They're not even his sons. They're just sons of bitches.
These people have just opened the door. Just so you know, Anna, those people you're calling SOBs are all going to go free on January 20th or January 21st. You have nothing to say at this point. You just watch this man, and by the time January 20th comes, who knows how many dozens of pardons Biden issues. You may even get one, Anna. Who knows? So when January 6ers all walk out of there with complete pardons and restitution, I don't want to hear anything from you.
Number 4.
What is before us is a president who is living the rule of law. He is living it in the most personal way. He is not pardoning his son, which he could do. These are federal charges. Right. He is not doing that. He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And it is.
I would almost guarantee he gets one. I would almost guarantee you that Andrew Weissman gets one of those pieces of paper. This guy is the scummiest of them all, because what he did with the Robert Mueller thing, they're going to dig into him. He definitely needs one.
I mean, if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening with his own son. I mean, I'm not saying that he should get credit for it because it is the right thing to do.
That's the norm that Trump is beneath it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that the idea that you can't see it, or is that really what's going on? Or when you can see what he is actually living by is his own son is being prosecuted, and he is allowing the norms that are required to live in a democracy to go forward.
How can these people look themselves in the mirror today? They went on television, they bamboozled all the people on the left. They knew what was going to happen. Andrew Weissman used to work in the FBI and Department of Justice. He knew that Hunter Biden was trouble. And yet he kept going with this crap.
Number 2.
Senator, thanks very much for joining us. Given all of the work that you've put into this, give us your reaction to Joe Biden pardoning his son Hunter.
Well, good morning, Maria. My guess is that Joe Biden's legacy he'll go down in history as probably the worst, not only the worst president in U.S. history, but also the most corrupt. And the fact of the matter is the media has known about his corruption literally for decades. Reporters like you have covered.
You catch that? The media has known about Joe Biden's corruption for decades. Let that wash over you for a second. They've known what he's been doing. They've all looked the other way, and just not looked the other way. They have worked in earnest to gaslight the American public. That is a crime. That is going to get the FCC and everybody else looking at all these different networks. Perhaps that's why Comcast may be putting MSNBC up for sale. Just think, I've just showed you in an hour and a half here so much footage. Just think how much footage is out there of these people lying, insulting, corrupting, working in coexistence with these corruptors, doing everything possible to lie to everyone they speak to 24/7. That's going to cost these companies billions. Absolutely billions. I don't even know how they would now turn into truth-telling organizations. It's impossible.
Some of the corruption that we have exposed, but the mainstream media, by and large, has ignored it because they are complicit in the corruption. Go back to the Russian collusion hoax. They've not given back their Pulitzer Prizes for that false reporting, have they? So nope. I don't expect, I completely agree with Kash Patel that the only way to restore integrity to these federal agencies is to expose the truth. But when we only have a few journalists, people like yourself, who are willing to highlight that truth, and the rest of the legacy media ignores it, that's going to be a difficult issue. Yeah. So again, and again, they don't want to expose it because they would be exposing their complicity and their corruption in the same problem.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Think of the years that have happened since Trump came down the escalator in 2016, and even before then. All the different things these people knew. Where were you getting these stories from? Where were you getting these reports from? How were these reports how did you know these leaks? Who gave you these leaks? Why would you put that on the air if you couldn't verify it? I mean, just think of all the things they did. The whole PP tape, all that stuff. You know what's funny about the whole PP tape? About the Russian hookers and everything I found so funny is whoever came up with that and said they're going to put that out there, they didn't know Trump enough to know that he was a germaphobe. And if those of us who knew his history at that point, that's a lie. That never happened. It never, ever, ever happened. They made it up.
Number 3.
Two things, because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wanted to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay.
What would you call it? This show, I think, is on it's on life support. The View is definitely on life support. What the hell would you call what Joe did?
I repeatedly say you're not going to, and you do. And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it sets. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes, because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think.
What do you think, Whoopi?
For many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt with.
It's bad when the people on your show give you the side eye. I mean, these are your co-panelists, and at this point, they're looking for chairs or seats in the lifeboat. These women understand this show doesn't have much more of a life. So at this point, whatever credibility I can claw back, I got to do it. Whoopi, you're going to go down with the ship. That's fine. I'm not. So that other woman was like, okay, so it's not a lie? What the hell do you call it? We lie for a living. We keep having to do retractions over and over and over. What would you call it? So this last cut, number 1, is basically like the cherry on top. A sad visual of this man heading out.
Number 1.
What change?
What you couldn't hear was the reporters were screaming at him, and they were screaming at him, said, why did you change your mind? Why did you all of a sudden pardon Hunter? Head down, just walks on the airplane, heads off to Africa, issues a statement, no press, nothing, no questions, bye. He went to the furthest region away he possibly can, to Africa. Not a word. That is your president. That's how sad things are at this point. Our government has been corrupt for years, but now it's in your face. Yeah, what a piece of trash. I believe it. Absolutely believe it. He'll have to pardon thousands of people. Can you imagine? I mean, think about that. If he has to pardon thousands of people, what's that mean for our country? I haven't felt this low for our government in quite some time. We're at a state where it's just really bad. Hey, listen, I know some of you tonight will at the 7:30 show, we're going to give away hoodies. Is reopened, so you can go there and go to fanfareshop.org and you can register to win hoodies. And you can also go to fanfareshop.org/group and join 11,000 fellow patriots. Lots of stuff going on in there, so much content. You can get your feet wet on X without having to pay anything. It's completely free. I understand the rules changed on X. They only allow people who are verified to comment over there on my live broadcast. But my other stuff, you can comment freely without any problem. So with those two things, let me go ahead and talk about Super Chats real quick. Now, let me just tell you something. Excuse me. The comments for Super Chats don't feed into my software from Rumble or Twitter. And one of the mods, I just want to recognize this person straight up directly because I have to, somebody sent me an image. Somebody named T-Berry1 did an amazing $200, my first big Rumble donation, $200 by T-Berry1. Greatly appreciated. All right, let's get to the YouTubes. LaRasia, I won a hoodie in your last show. How do I get it? Can one of the mods give her the email, because Ashley was on vacation for the holiday and she would be emailing you for your size and your address for delivery. Izzy Emp pardon them, cash FBI investigation allegations, bring all the perps in front of the people through congressional investigative hearings. They have two options. As long as they haven't been pardoned, yes, as long as they have not been pardoned. Mama Mima, my son got in trouble. He knew I would hold him responsible, knew I would never post bail, never even asked. Damn, Mama Mia, that's hard. But I get you, he is probably a younger kid at that, not a 54-year-old man. Tania, if Biden pardoned Diddy, the left would excuse it. Oh, yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, sure. But right now, they're in full defensive mode. N Marino 221, since Biden has dementia, can the pardon stand? That's a good question. That's a really good question. If they can even say anything he's done can stand. From Sick of Election Fraud, do you think Biden will pardon Ryan Wesley Routh? That's the guy. Ryan Wesley Routh is the guy who was crawling in the grass at the West Palm Beach Trump resort. And I doubt it. I doubt it. Larry 1754, this pardon should be invalidated because there's no such city as Washington. Show us where the document was entered into the city of Washington. Very, I saw that. It didn't say Washington, D.C. Kelly Panetsky, they're all finished after Trump takes office. They know it. They absolutely know it. Julie Crack, I don't see Biden pardoning Obama. Pelosi, as in my opinion, he's so angry about how they treated him when they put crazy Kamala in office. Ooh, I'd like to be a fly on the wall for that one. If he's gonna let Obama and Pelosi hang. Ooh, we need a hoodie that says God doesn't like ugly. That was one of my mom's favorite sayings. Desert Star. Does this mean Hunter can rob a bank tomorrow and get away with it? No. No. Rob, again, let me put it up just so you guys can see it again. The dates are quite defined. From January 1, 2014 through December 1, 2024. If Hunter is stupid enough to do something tomorrow, nope, all bets are off. So he's got to be a saint. He can't even get so much as a parking ticket. He can't do anything after today, federally, that could get him in trouble. And you can bet your butt people will be watching everything. Desert Star, again, that's what you just said to me. Kim Hansen, the Democrat Party has officially self-destructed. Yes, they have. Tommy Radcliffe, think it covers the entire mattress of 10 years in size. Anything he smoked on it, he laid with it, anything he stole from anyone. Yep, he gets everything for free. Jules of the Garden, watching the Democrat cult members realize that they might be supporting an organized crime family syndicate is priceless. There's going to be some people who are decent people on the right who got caught, who just don't understand, and now they're seeing it. R. Heath, to clarify, can they be brought into a court to hear charges even though they won't be sentenced? Nope. It's over. It's over. R. Heath again, Barry, do you know if the charges can be filed and brought out even if a blank pardon? Nope, can't do anything. He now has if you come to the house and say we're here to investigate you, he goes, nope, you can't. It's over. Done. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Demon of Cybertron, the pardons are basically banishment from the USA. Yeah, really. Let's see here. Jeff Holden. If you sign a legal document, you are mentally impaired because it becomes null and void, and Biden got a free pass because he wasn't sound. He didn't have to. That is something that they could probably bring up. Will they? I mean, think about that. To try and say he was out of his mind when he signed it, it's possible. I mean, that would be, yeah. Probably Jill probably signed it anyway. Fumie Drummer, just wait for the Hunter Biden tell-all book titled Skipping Through Life with My Shoelaces Untied. You'll be super pissed off at that point. From what I understand, the reason this came about was that he said, I'm getting ready to write a book. Barry, but what if it is proven that Biden didn't really win the election and wasn't legally president? I don't know. I can't hope for the unicorn. I'm just telling you what things are right now. You're into a whole different territory, which I understand at that point. I don't know. Thank you, Carla Thomas. And the other thing with that, you have to assume that at this point, people want to waste time going back over that. See, that's important as well. The Democrats exposed themselves. Trump got them to expose themselves. So what? Hunter doesn't get to go to jail. So what? Joe, he may do something. So what? Now you all know. Now everybody knows these people are complete trash. The destruction of the Democrat Party might be more important at this point than getting Hunter. Tom Ratcliffe, were you ever able to show my Trump guitar video? Barry, don't know if it's compatible, but thanks for loving and trying. As you can hear, I've been sick. I tried to get through the weekend, and it got a little bit worse. I promise you, to the world, I promise you, Tommy, I will get that done this week. By the way, I love it. Jeff Holden, thank you very much. Let me see here. Tommy Ratcliffe, Biden is corrupt, period, and his son. It's a lot more people than that. That's where, once all this is out there, it's going to be out there. So it is federal. Can he be held accountable on different levels? Yes. If he broke crimes on a state level, absolutely he can. That's a whole thing with what Letitia James and what Alvin Bragg did. Those were state charges. Those weren't federal. Same thing with, what they've done. What's her name? Fannie. Greg Barth, Preacher Barry, tell us how you really feel, and we feel the same way. This tired of this crap. I'm so over it. It's just so over it. Just go away. Barry, the values expressed in your opening statements was exactly why I'm here every day. Thank you very much. Fume drummer. And I won't do that all the time. I'm just pissed off today. Congress can pass a rule that says presidents can't pardon anyone or nominate any Supreme Court justices after an election they lost but are lingering for another 2 months. Yeah, but will Congress ever get together and do something like that? KRO, Joe is an enabler 2.0. Where'd that go? Went to the next page, did it? Yeah, Joe is an enabler, not an expression of love. It's an exercise in selfishness. Now that is entitlement. Absolutely. Covered his own ass. That's the only reason he did it. Carla Thomas, I couldn't if my child did something wrong, I would stand beside them, but I would not lie for them nor hide them from the law. He didn't do it for Hunter. Like I said, he didn't do it for Hunter because he could have done it at any time. He tried to save his ass in the election, and then he tried to save the Democrat Party, and now all bets are off. You got a couple weeks left until Trump takes office, and now all the shit's going to start flying. Wait till you see it. Grandma Lynn, mic drop, very great monologue. Thank you very much. I didn't know how you guys would take to that. Deanne Hobbs, thank you very much. Patriot Mom, damn, you were on fire today. Thanks for putting out my story, Barry, and thanks to all you watchers for the positive replies. Would that be Kimberly? Nicholas Lamonicus, Barry, my account in a group is suspended. Don't know why. Nicholas, do me a favor and email me your handle and email so I can check on that. Just let me know why. I'll take care of that. Tina Bernard, come on, Barry, bring it home. Thank you. Peter Ulrich, thank you very much. Kim Hansen, God voted on July 13th. Love that. That should be a T-shirt right there. That should be a T-shirt. Dennis Pope, that's what I like about you, Barry. You tell it like it is. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And wow, Tanya Nguyen, thank you very, very much. Oh, wow, 2 times, Tanya. FJB, wow, man, thank you very, very much. That helps in case these guys do anything stupid here, you know what I mean. Frederick Martini, thank you very much. Where are we? Lynn Goldmeyer. Is there anything that can be done to block his pardon? Anyone from nope. it's an executive privilege. It's something that he can do. He used it, and now, the best thing we can do, the best thing we can do is publicize what he's done. Because at this point, he knows what he's done, and obviously the biggest part is now it goes all the way back to 2014. So if it goes all the way back to 2014, there was some really bad stuff in there that had to have preceded that. Let me go here. Since Biden has dementia, can its pardon still stand? Yeah, there's no constitutional document that says only if. So we're kind of stuck with that. Okay. I said that one earlier. The hoodie. Olivia Goriel says, thank you for your constant coverage. As always, great content and commentary. Thank you very much. If they can prove that he wasn't elected in 2020, the word there that you said is proof. You're going to go back 2 elections now. I think we need to let that go and let them, figure out what Kash Patel and some people can do at this point. After Biden confessed in public and resigned and Sham were charged. Yeah, he's already there. Dickie Spaz, your opening monologue today was fire. Thank you very, very much. Very much. Ronald Zimmerman, does the pardon stand if Biden dies? Yeah, it's already been issued. It's like a judge's decree. It's already been issued, so it's there. Georgia Cat Lady, being 69 years old, I understand how you feel, but don't feel downbeat about the government. Help is on the way. 49 days to go. Oh, I'm not down. I'm just trying to let people know it is what it is. There ain't nothing we can do about it. Truth be told, I just think rehashing 2020 will give Trump peace of mind and never be called an election denier. Him and as well as us. And Windy Pine Stable, thank you very much. Yeah, I think that there's so much at this point. Like I said in my monologue, there's only so much we can take, man. What do you expect? You just spit in our face again. Just literally, we're hot tool in our face. I'm done. I'm over it. I am so over it. All right, everybody, it's 5:40. I'm going to see if I can't get some soup. I heard Robin just come in while I was in here. So let me take some vitamin C, get some more tea and crumpets, and walk the dog, feed the dog, and see you guys all at 7:30. I hope you'll see if I post something. Going to play the outro, which has a lot of blinking lights on it, so if you're prone to seizures, please look away. Thank you.